This is my 6-speed manual BMW M2. One of the many reasons I bought this car is it reminded me of my 6-speed manual E46 M3 coupe. They're both rear-wheel drive. They're both practically the same size at 176 inches long. But today, we have a special treat. We are going to drive and review an E46 M3 coupe with a 6-speed manual. Now, this is a facelifted model, a 2003 and a half. Here in the United States, they were sold from 2001 to 2006, and they all have the glorious S54 engine. Yeah, this car's got some grunt. Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and we're driving one of my favorite cars. I used to own one, like I said, E46 M3 coupe with a 6-speed manual transmission. Now I had, for those of you that follow the channel, I had a 2003 Laguna Seca Blue coupe 6-speed manual, black interior, sunroof delete, which is, I guess, a collectible car now. But unfortunately, mine got stolen with only with less than 10,000 miles on it. I think I only had 7 or 10,000 miles when it got stolen. So always loved one of these cars, thinking of getting another one. Roman was nice enough to let me test drive his car, and this car has some enhancements, which is even making it a better drive. So first of all, this car sounds great. So Roman, what have you done with this car? Because it sounds really good.
Thanks. It does have agency power headers,
catless headers, yeah.
AR20 mid-pipe, and stock muffler. I used to have a Billy Boat exhaust, right? 3-flow muffler, but I used to drone a lot on the speed 65 miles an hour. So. Okay. Now so my muffler is for sale, guys.
So if you want a Billy Boat exhaust, it's for sale. Now I can tell in the first turn here you have suspension, because this car handles fantastic. You have coilovers on this?
Yes, KW variant 2 coilovers. Okay. Also it does have a camera plates by Turner Motorsport. Okay.
Yeah, they make great parts.
Stock, yeah.
Turner Motorsports makes great parts for this car. Yeah, it seems like you have an aggressive camber setting. This car really has a sharp turn-in, I can tell right away. And this car seems pretty quick. The gearing is stock. It's just the exhaust mods.
The shifter is short. Actually it's from 330D. I guess it's from E90. It used to be.
Okay, the shifter, yeah.
Yeah, the previous owner installed it. And also the engine, it does have an E-valve tune.
Okay, so maybe that's it does feel quicker than most E46 M3s. The last one I drove was in October. That was really one of the first YouTube videos I did, that Imola Red 02. Look at this, we got a parade of Teslas. I actually drove one of those cars, they're pretty fast. I want to run this lady over here. Oh, so you got the shift lights, right? Yeah, I mean, this is what this car is made for, these back roads. So if you have a lot of back roads where you live, this is perfect for an E46 M3.
Unfortunately, there is no back roads in Jersey.
No, you got to move out here.
I have to go to Catskills.
Or you just come up here to Bergen County, that's all. Yeah, this car, you know, there's a lot of exhaust. Some people don't like the raspy sound. I mean, I think the car does sound good stock. And I think you can hear your mid-pipe here, which makes it a throatier sound. And these cars overall are pretty reliable. I mean, there are stuff like the rod bearings and rebuilding your vanos, but I mean, any you know, this is a what, a 14-year-old car, so they're always going to need something, you know. And the fact that this car drives this good at 115,000 miles, you know, I wouldn't hesitate buying one with this mileage on it.
Yeah, but Glenn, also this important thing, the subframe problem.
Oh yes, the subframe.
Subframe problem usually is a common thing for E46.
Yes.
And this car had actually subframe reinforcements because it's a California car, and
okay,
everything was done by HPF.
Oh, okay. So it has the reinforcements on it.
It does have.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we're driving with the traction control off, stability control off.
Yes, and sport mode.
Oh, in sport, yeah, it felt like sport mode because it was very sharp throttle response.
Yeah, I hate driving without it because I don't like the response.
You don't like the response?
I'm just used to
it's lazy without it, right?
Yeah.
And if you heel toe downshift, the sport actually keeps the revs up, so it's much easier to do.
It's more sensitive. Yeah.
Now, when I had my E46 M3, that was my daily driver. Though I got stuck in like an inch of snow in the winter, not even an inch, like a dust of snow, I couldn't get down my street. But I autocrossed that every weekend, and that car was a fantastic autocross car. Yeah. The first time I saw one of those cars, like I was just in awe of it.
These cars needs to be tracked. They don't have to sit in the garage.
Yep. And that brings up a good point, and that's why there's so many mileage E46 M3s, because they're a great car to drive. So people aren't buying these because they're rare and to collect it. Maybe you know, maybe some people are, but you know, the reason a lot of these have 100,000 miles is they're fantastic cars, right? And that's a great way to buy these cars. Buy one with high miles, so you don't have to worry about it. You could just, you know, it's not. Now this car drives fantastic, and it's got 115,000 miles, almost 116,000 miles. So you know, you put 125, it's going to be worth the exact same. You know?
Same.
And if the car keeps appreciating, you'll probably go up a little bit too. Now you bought this recently?
I bought this like a month ago.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Now, where did you find it?
Actually, I found it in Delaware.
Oh wow!
The guy was selling it on 3 forum.
Okay, so you found it on the M3 forum.
Yeah, so I just went there, picked it up, and drove it back.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, see, even with this many miles, you don't have to be worried about driving it back.
It was hard to find a coupe with a manual gearbox.
It is.
And I was not considering SMGs at all, no convertibles.
Right.
So it's really, really hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, if you want an SMG convertible, it's definitely a different price point.
Yeah.
Coupes definitely sell for the most money if they're 6-speed manual. And a lot of people are doing the conversion now, too. It won't be worth as much. What happened here? I got a tree in the road. It won't be worth as much of a car that came with a stick stock, but obviously I think you're going to see a lot of people converting the SMG transmissions. Okay, so we'll talk about subframes now. So you said this car had a reinforced subframe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This car spent the entire life in California.
Okay.
Like just 12 years in California, and then was bought by an Air Force guy who actually lives now in Delaware. So
oh, okay.
From here.
Nice.
Yeah, and everything was done with the previous owner by HPF.
Okay.
It did not have any problems with the subframe, but it was done just in case to prevent
preventive maintenance. Yeah. Now I know it's pretty prominent on the E36 M3s too. Had the subframe cracking. Even the M coupes, like I have an S54 M coupe, so this engine and an M coupe, and some of them it's like hit or miss. Some of them have subframe problems, some of them don't. What I noticed is a lot of the cars that seem to be, I don't know if this is true, but it seems like a lot of the cars that are tracked where you're going acceleration braking puts more stress on the subframe. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. Somebody told me, and I don't know that it's true, that it's really like the hard braking at the track is what causes the stress on the subframe.
Convertibles don't have that problem.
Oh, really?
They have some additional
bracing underneath, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
That helps, so maybe it's true.
Maybe, right? If you're looking for a first sports car, I think the E46 M3 is a great choice. Now, why did you choose an E46 M3? What did you have before this? The X5 or?
Well, I had the E34 525.
Oh, okay. So you had an E34 525. That's nice.
E34 525.
Right.
It was manual gearbox, M50 engine, and I used to track this car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had the Bilstein struts, A-box Sportline.
Oh wow.
Springs, strut bars. Yeah, so the suspension was not stock and handled pretty well.
Right.
And then I moved to the United States, didn't have a car, so here I was searching for E39's M5,
okay,
E46 M3, but what I didn't like in E36, they didn't have the 6-throttle engine as European.
Oh yeah, we don't get the, right.
So that was the problem. So, well, I guess I made a good choice buying E46 M3.
Especially if you want to do track days.
Yeah, and I don't drive it daily, so I don't really need an M5 for it as a daily driver.
Right.
I think it's perfect for back roads and over the roads for trekking.
Yeah, I mean the M5 is a great daily driver. You can daily drive these cars too, but if you're going to do track days, I would say E46 M3 all day long. Now, may I ask what you paid for this car?
I paid $16,500 for this car.
Okay, so I mean that's a steal. I mean, what kind of, you couldn't get a Corolla for $16,500, and you can get an E46 M3. I mean, worst case scenario, you're going to sell this car for what, $15,000? So you're going to have an you might even sell it for $20 if you keep it long enough and the car keeps appreciating, right? So I mean, once a car hits that price point, it's really not going to depreciate it. You went from doing a track day with the 525 to this. Were the differences night and day, or did you have enough mods on your 525? I mean, just the, you know, one's really a luxury car.
The steering is different completely.
Yeah.
Just in general, the stiffness of the body is completely different. You know, here you feel that it's a solid body.
Yep.
E34, it rolls, you know.
Right.
You can feel the difference.
Yeah, and I'm, you know, I'll say that every enthusiast should own an E46 M3 at some point. Even if you're not a BMW fan, I mean, if you love sports cars, it's got stick shift, rear wheel drive, and you know, an engine that's sure to be a classic, right? It's very hard to find that that combination. Some cars are just fast, but there's really nothing special about the engine. Yeah, this car's got some grunt. Now the power's up high for the S54. It's 333 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque. You know, this car's got headers and a mid-pipe, so it's probably making more than that. It's also got, you said, an Evolve too, right? And if you drive a modern car compared to this car is so much visceral. You know, the steering is hydraulic, right? And it's they didn't tune out all this road noise to get 1.1 miles per gallon, a tank full better, you know what I mean? And now your car is a vacuum cleaner because it's a turbo. And you know, for most people, that's not the case. I think you have to be a car enthusiast. You know, the average person can look at this car and go, oh, it's a 2003.
Oh, yeah.
Why would I buy a 2003 BMW when I can lease a new 320 for $399 a month and it's a 2017, right? Now, car guy.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, a lot of people, right? And they'd be like, oh, well, why do you have the manual transmission? You know, you could just the automatic. You know, why would you want to roll your own gears and spend all that money and you still have to shift it? You know, right?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh,
you should be
yeah,
able to make a citizen's arrest. Somebody says that.
You buy these cars with your heart, not with your head.
Right. This car is no joke. So that's a great point. So if you see anybody driving this car, and it's not like an SMG convertible, they're a driver. They're somebody who appreciates cars. So like I say on my channel all the time, you don't need to spend a lot of money to have a great car, right? So you can get one of these for $15,000, $16,000 and still have a blast, right?
Yeah.
And the great part of it, you can get your money back tomorrow. If something else catches your eye, then you can sell it. I mean, don't sell it, but you can sell it and, you know, get something like this again, you know? These cars can certainly, and I switch cars all the time, and my family does not believe this, but when I had my E46 M3, I said, this is a forever car for me. I said, as soon as I was done paying it off, and and I was already autocrossing it. I was going to turn it into like a full-blown track car. I said I was going to keep that car forever. It's a 6-speed manual, black interior, sunroof delete. It's like the perfect car. And my family says, you know, you've been, since you've had that car stolen, you've been through like 150 cars. There's no way you would have kept that car. And I say I would have, and they say I never would have. But now if I can get one back, if I get it back, I got to keep it. It's just like karma. And don't buy a Laguna Seca Blue one. They're ugly and horrible. But I want one. I love that color because that kind of completes the circle. My car was taken away from me. I came out at lunchtime. At the time I was working in Paramus, New Jersey. I came out at noon for lunch and my car was gone, and I couldn't believe it. And for years I thought maybe I parked it in a different spot. I was hoping that maybe I just didn't realize it or something like that. Maybe I did. Maybe it's still there. I gotta go check it, or somebody else took it by now. But and I just want to kind of complete the circle. And here's the car. And I like cars that appreciate. So why didn't I buy one before if I like the car so much? And I guess because they actually depreciated since mine was stolen and they were cheap for so long. You know, why buy it now? You know, now I see the appreciation is going up. Now's the time to buy these cars. I'm telling you, next year, you already see the appreciation. So the way you can tell that a car is appreciated, it's got to have a strong following, right? There's internet forums dedicated to this car, so it has all that. It's manual transmission, it's rear drive, coupes, and what happens just before a car really rises in value is you can't find a good one anymore. You know, so these cars are plentiful. They made a bunch of them, but because they, again, I said earlier, you know, they've fallen into the wrong hands. They've been cheap for so long. They've been heavily modified for so long that, you know, we're already seeing that appreciation curve. Like 05 and 06 with the competition packages are already crazy money. Say they were, I'm talking off the top of my head, but say they were $30,000 last year, people want $40,000 for them now. So what is that going to do? That's going to raise the prices of the 01s, right? Because people are going to say, oh, well, I missed the boat on the competition package. What else can I get, right? And now it's all supply and demand, right? So now you have a very limited supply, which goes down every year because people get into accidents, cars get stolen, cars get salvaged, and the buyer pool, as people, you know, looking for their first sports car, is getting bigger and bigger. And obviously population is growing and all kinds of stuff like that. So I think now's the year to buy it. I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, in the next couple of years, there's really steep appreciation on these cars. And when it makes a car collectible too, it's either got to be very low numbers, or it's got to be a desirable car. So it's got to be a great driving car. So you're not buying, you know, a fuddy-duddy that they only made 100 examples and that car is worth a lot of money because they made 100 examples. This is a great driving car, so it doesn't matter so much what the total production is because the demand for that car is growing every year and the supply is actually shrinking. I think it's the right size. You know, this car off the top of my head, and I'm guessing is like 175 inches long. The M2, which is supposed to be, you know, the new version of this, if you will, some people say, is about 176 inches, so they're similar size. So now this car, you know, compared to modern cars, say especially a new M3, you know, this car is kind of small, right? Compared to a new one.
All cars are getting bigger.
Yeah.
Porsches.
Yep, Porsches. Yeah, look how big the 911 is now. Obviously the new M3 and M4 are much larger than this. I mean, they're still great cars and they're crazy fast, but there's just something about a car the right size. If you guys don't buy an E46 M3 after watching this video, I'm doing something wrong. See, now this is like the perfect road, the back road for this car. This is really a focused car, and compared to a modern car, it's really focused, right? Because a modern car is just much softer. It makes power from a turbo engine, and any modern car can be fast. So let's take it up actually a little bit on the highway here, and we'll see how it is on the highway. That's my signal that's on. Right? From the exhaust. I love that sound. We always used to say that was like a chainsaw, you know, but I know a lot of people don't like it. There's a 3 Series. Yeah, I mean the whole purpose of this S54 engine is that high revving nature of it. So 5 to 8,000, he's 100% right. That's where you want to keep this car in, you know. And it's just exciting. It's just how it builds up, you know. And the great thing about any E46 M3, whether you want convertible or coupe or stick or SMG, is that they all have the S54. Right. So like for the M coupe, I had to search, and you know, you'll pay through the nose to get an S54 car, but all these are S54. So just you know, pick the one with the best service history. High mileage cars are fine if they've been highly maintained. So I wouldn't let a high mileage car scare you away. If that's what you need to get into a car, that's great. And like Roman's going to track this car, so I wouldn't be spending 30 grand on a garage queen. I would get exactly this, that already has the modifications you can track, and you certainly won't lose any money. What I love about these cars is all cars are really set to understeer for obvious reasons, because everybody's got to be able to drive them, whether you're 16 years old or 100 years old. But the M3, as you push it, really has that oversteer, and that's what I thought made this a great autocross car. Is the oversteer is pretty progressive, and I think if you have some driving talent, you can catch it. And I remember I used to autocross and have like this perfect, almost, before drifting was popular, I have like this perfect drift to it. Yeah. Now again, that is not the fastest way around the autocross. You want to be clean, but it is definitely the most fun way. And people would look at you and say, wow, you must be so fast. Look how you had that car in the perfect line there. Now, even though these cars are pushing 15 years old, or some are older than that, you know, it's plenty of power for an everyday car. Yeah, I mean, these cars were meant for the track. If you get one of these cars, you should do at least one track day. If you're new to track day, start with autocross. That's safe in a parking lot. You're not going to crash and total your car. The worst thing you'll do is get a scratch from hitting a cone. So it's a great way to learn car control. You know, when people think of New Jersey, they think of all the, they think of the New Jersey Turnpike with all the factories and the pollution. Yeah. But, you know, most of New Jersey is actually like this. And, you know, if you get to the more rural areas of New Jersey, it's really nice. It's like, yeah, it's like the Pennsylvania back roads. Have a car in your mind, and sometimes you go back to it, and it's maybe not the same as you thought it was. You know what I mean? Like, you see that, and I love muscle cars too. I remember like Grassroots Motorsports a long time ago, when I was a kid, they had like an issue. He took like a Jaguar E-Type, and that's not a muscle car, and his wife's minivan, and the minivan beat the Jaguar E-Type in every test. Wow. Acceleration, braking, autocross course, slalom, and you think, oh, well, this is, you know, I remember this, my dad had one or whatever, and you just have that in your head, how fast that car was and everything. And then when you drive, say, a modern M4 or M2, you go, oh wow, that's fast, you know what I mean? Then you drive the old car and it seems slow. Like the NSX, when it first came out, it was a quick car, but they never really upped the horsepower except for the 20 extra horsepower. So compared to a modern car, or even the modern NSX, it doesn't feel fast, and it's got a very linear torque curve, but it's the whole package of that car. It's the handling, it's everything about it, and which makes it really a perfect car. So if you can't afford it, and that's why they've gone crazy in value now, and they were unappreciated so long, and I think you can make the same case for this car. Wow, so this car's got, you know, on these roads, it's got a ton of power, a ton of acceleration. I mean, a good driver in this car, I don't care what they're driving, they're gonna have a hard time keeping up with it.
I love the third gear here.
Yeah, third gear is great in this car. It's fantastic in this car. See, now it's all coming back to me. I daily drove mine, and now it's coming back to me, you know? Now again, we're on New Jersey's finest, which just means a terrible bumpy road, but we do have some great turns here. If you don't love these cars, you're not a car enthusiast. Even if you don't like BMWs, you gotta own an E46 M3. You know, like the E30 M3s obviously are a visceral car. They've really blown up the last couple of years. And, you know, they don't have the power that this car has. You know, they have that fantastic S14 engine. I've been trying to review one of those for the channel. Every time I see an E30 owner give them my card, I don't have any takers yet. But I mean, you know, this car is a fraction of that car, and you get so much of that driving experience, and you actually have better acceleration.
In these cars, it's not about numbers.
It's not
0 to 60.
Yep.
It's all about the feeling that you get.
Right.
It can be not as fast as a new M3, M4,
yep,
or any other car, but the feeling that the car gives, when you shift, when you floor it, you know, to put it in a turn, it's just unbelievable.
And you want to keep driving it and driving it.
Yeah. Numbers, horsepower, and how fast it goes to 60.
Yep.
It's all about the feeling that you get. You can get the feeling. I was getting the same feeling with my E34. It's manual. As long as it's manual gearbox and it's non-turbo, it gives you that feeling of the car.
Yep.
You're really
it's involving that you're part of it.
You're part of it.
Right. A new car is way faster, but it does everything for you, so you don't need any driving skill. And for most people, they don't want that. They don't want the driving skill. They just want to, if they want to text or listen to the radio or talk on the phone. But for a driver, you know, you want that visceral experience.
I don't care how fast it goes to 60.
Right.
I know how it's fast in turns.
Yep. It's a very balanced car. So this, and again, what I love about this car is all modern cars are really set to that understeer, where this car will actually oversteer if you go into a corner too high. You take some of these fast turns. So you probably need a little more skill in this car, but it really rewards that skill.
You know when I felt the balance of this car? When I test drove the Challenger SRT 8.
Oh, okay.
470 horsepower manual gearbox.
Yep.
I was low mileage, like 5,000 miles, 2013.
Okay.
And it was terrible. I felt like a truck with a manual gearbox. It was
really?
not balanced at all.
Oh, wow.
You did have a power, but when you turn, when you shift, it's not balanced at all. Everything is like separate.
Really?
Unbelievable. And after that, I drove Volkswagen Golf GTI.
Okay.
And like 200 horsepower, 220 or 40. Completely different feeling. You can see that the car is balanced. It's made by engineers.
Yeah.
Who are actually thinking about the driving. German engineers. Who are actually thinking about the driving experience.
Yeah.
But Challenger, I'm sorry guys who drive Challengers, it's just not for me.
I drove a Charger SRT8. They only come in automatic, and that car was fast. I was spinning. I didn't do a review of it, but it was spinning the tires like in third gear of that car. But it's all motor. It's all motor. So it's, you know, if you look at it like, hey, this is my daily driver, my highway car, and you want torque and V8, you'll probably be fine with it, but it's not a visceral handling car like this. And that's why I love German cars, because of the handling. I did a review of a GTI. I don't know if you've seen that video, and it was the same thing. It was the 200 horsepower 6-shift manual, and I loved every second of it. It was an awesome car to drive, because you're going up and down through the gears and everything.
Yeah, that car that I drove was on DSG gearbox.
Okay.
That was quick.
Now they do make a great DSG gearbox, and you know, for most people that's probably better. I think I would take the stick shift even though it's slower. Now when I first moved up here, I had my Laguna Seca Blue M3, and driving on these same exact roads, you know. Yeah, but I mean, you got a great car. I mean, what was the price of this? $16,000 again? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you got a new Corolla is like $20,000.
You can't even compare it.
Yeah. My first BMW ever was an E36, not an M3. It was a 328i sedan with the sport package. So it was rear-wheel drive and a stick shift. And at that time, I had grown up on American cars, and I had driven, you know, Camaros, E28s, Fox body Mustangs, some C4 Corvettes, and once I had my first BMW, I'm like, this is better handling than my C4 Corvette, you know, and especially on the highway, it was so composed, where the Corvette was so twitchy, you know, like it was just, I took it out on a road trip to Pennsylvania. I just couldn't believe how stable it was at like 80 miles an hour, and handling on back roads like this, how great it was. And it was just, it wasn't even an M3, like my dream was an Astral Blue M3 sedan, and they were out of my price range at the time, and so I just bought the 3 Series, and that's what really got me into German cars. But you know, if somebody's in their 20s now, this is the car I think you should get. Wow. Yeah, I'd drive till I ran out of gas probably. Now, this compared to the E90, so I also had an E90, 6-speed manual, sedan. E90 is the sedan, E92 is the coupe, E93 is the hardtop convertible. So I had an Interlagos Blue sedan that I bought new, 6-speed manual that I kept for 6 years, and that was, you know, makes a great family car, makes a great everyday car. I drove it every day. I even had Blizzaks for the winter, and so you can drive a rear-wheel drive car in the snow. Now, I think those cars have some appreciation, future appreciation too. I think the one to buy is probably the sedan with the competition package, since those are pretty rare. But the older car always goes up first, like we see with the E30 M3s, and the E46 M3s will, I think, appreciate. I think the low point right now is the E90s and E92s. So if you want to pick them up at the low point, get them now. But the E46 M3s are already appreciating, and they're appreciating pretty fast. So as soon as you see this video, go out and buy one. All right, guys, this is the end of our drive with the E46 M3 Coupe with a 6-speed manual transmission, and I think Roman has convinced me that I need to buy one of these cars. So again, I had an 03 and 6-shift manual coupe, and it got stolen. So I've been trying to replace it ever since. But driving the video I did back in October, one of my first YouTube videos, and now driving this one, I guess in August of 2017, this is the car to buy. Any car enthusiast, certainly BMW enthusiast, should have an E46 M3 in their collection. You won't regret it. They'll hold their value. They'll probably even appreciate. So buy one now before you're kicking yourself that you could have bought one of these cars. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get notified every time I make a video. Typically post videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a positive comment below and share this video with your friends and get them to subscribe so I can keep making videos. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.